I tell you what, we've got so many amazing games on offer this week that you might have a tough time choosing which one to go for. But if you think you can handle that sort of difficult decision making, the RPG sale is sure to have something for you. But first, here's Henry with some parkour zombie fun.
If you like to have fun with your apocalyptic dystopias, you'll find that Dying Light 2 Stay Human will scratch that exact itch. Set 20 years after the outbreak of a nightmarish virus, the city of Haran is now a pretty bleak place, overrun with monsters at night and ran by brutal warlords during the day. Playing as a man with a talent for crafting, climbing, and clobbering, you'll get to play a major role in shaping the city's future. But exactly what that future looks like is up to you. Although, saying that, if you're playing the game on Xbox Series X, it will look pretty sweet thanks to those lovely ray-traced lighting effects and real-time reflections. It is still full of horrifying monsters though. Book your trip to Haran by picking up the deluxe edition of Dying Light 2 for 45% off in this week's sale, and you'll also be able to check out its first piece of story DLC, Bloody Ties.
A Plague Tale Requiem is another game where just staying alive means making an awful lot of awful decisions. It picks up 6 months after the events of the first game, and Requiem introduces players to a more battle-hardened version of Amicia, who is now capable of taking a more, direct approach to dealing with her enemies. After spending the first game cowering in the shadows and scampering away in fear, it is pretty satisfying to be able to dish out a little payback. But Requiem's emotionally charged story makes sure you always feel the impact of your actions. The moral areas might be grey, but the others are bursting with colour, I can assure you, especially on the Xbox Series X and S, where the vibrant hues of the French countryside shine even brighter and the spatial sound tech makes it even more immersive. Anyway, A Plague Tale Requiem is now 25% off and is available both on Xbox and PC Game Pass.
Actually, Game Pass has been on a bit of a roll lately, especially since that big, beautiful game called Monster Hunter Rise came lumbering onto the service recently. And if it's got you in the mood for chopping down giant critters with your friends, you can continue the hunt with the previous game in the series, Monster Hunter World. Take on huge beasts, use their bits to build new weapons, then go take on even huger beasts. It's one of the most enticing game loops you'll find anywhere, combining the technical satisfaction of steady improvement with the visceral thrill of smacking a dinosaur in the face with a giant sword. And with the Iceborne Master Edition, which is 25% off in this week's sale, you can venture to the chilly region of Hoarfrost, where a whole bunch of new, exceptionally well-insulated monsters are awaiting you.
It's hard to improve on a trilogy as incredible as Mass Effect, but with its totally remastered visuals, plus the inclusion of over 40 bits of DLC, the Legendary Edition does a pretty good job. In this epic space opera, you'll get to watch the full legend of Commander Shepard unfold as they try to get all the peoples of the galaxy to play nice long enough to fend off the oncoming apocalypse. Along the way, you'll get to travel all across the galaxy, take part in ferocious firefights, and meet a cast of unforgettable characters. And it's a good thing they're unforgettable too, because if you make a few bad choices, those memories might be all that you have left by the time the credits roll. Anyway, to see how you get on as a space messiah, and you can do it, I totally believe in you, you can pick up the Legendary Edition for 75% off in this week's sale, while Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members can also grab it thanks to EA Play.
Yeah, and you know what's cool, Sam? Cowboys. You know what else is cool? Vampires. So, well, you can see where I'm going with this, right? Evil West is a third-person actioner that puts one against the other as an old-school gunslinger does everything he can to keep the bloodsuckers at bay. Fortunately, he's pretty well equipped for the job with a lightning-spewing gauntlet and a variety of other fancy gadgets to complement those iconic 6-shooters. And there's a ton of ways to upgrade your arsenal, from electrifying your bullets to learning brutal new melee moves, allowing you to fine-tune your own slaying style. And thanks to this week's sale, you can do so with a cool 25% discount.
But what if the role you really wanted to play wasn't a world-saving space commander or, a gunslinging vampire slayer? What if what you really wanted was to be the person responsible for making sure that grass looks nice? Well then, my humble friend, allow me to introduce you to the wonderful world of Lawn Mowing Simulator. This intricate simulation provides you with an amazingly realistic experience as you mow lawns all across the country. With a platoon of real-world mowers to use and an arsenal of accessories like stripe rollers and mulching kits to back them up, there's no job too tough for your elite mowing operation. And when you're done, you can gaze upon that perfectly manicured greenery in 4K Ultra HD on the Xbox Series X. And there's smart delivery there to make sure that you've always got access to the best version of the game. So, you'll be able to find out whether the grass is really greener on the next-gen side of the fence. Best of all, Lawn Mowing Simulator is not only 60% off in this week's sale, but it's also available on Xbox and PC Game Pass. Now, Henry, you kept going on about the fact that you've got a tale to tell us, but I don't know if it's a new or an old one.
It's a tale as old as time. 3 lovable losers team up to take on an evil weapons manufacturer in the latest series of Tales from the Borderlands. Anu is a scientist who dreams of a better world. Her brother Octavio is a bit more concerned with creating a better life for himself. And then there's Fran, whose main interests are things that are best served cold: frozen yogurt and revenge. They're an unlikely team and whose odds of success don't look great, given that they'll be going up against violent bandits, vicious beasts, and an all-powerful mega corporation. But then again, stranger things have happened out in the Borderlands, haven't they? And to see how this particular yarn unravels, pick up new Tales from the Borderlands in this week's 2K publisher sale for 50% off.
Sticking with the 2K sale, we've got the electrifying action that only a bunch of spandex-clad people battering each other with fold-away furniture can deliver, and that is WWE 2K22. After taking a year out, the series returned last year with a totally revamped control system and some beautiful new visuals which look even finer on the Xbox Series X and S, where that 60 FPS frame rate is locked tighter than one of Ric Flair's figure 4s. Speaking of whom, the Nature Boy is just one of the legendary figures you'll find waiting in WWE 2K22's roster, along with some of today's biggest stars. But if you reckon you could do better, you're free to craft some superstars of your own, like Henry did. It blew up on our TikTok.
Kermit the Frog! Oh, Curious George is out. What a shame.
Anyway, now 75% off, WWE 2K22 kicks off a whole new era of wrestling games.
And if you're all about things that go bump in the night, then 2K has got you covered as well with last year's The Quarry. This interactive horror takes place on the final day of summer camp, where the 9 young counsellors are looking to enjoy their last hurrah before heading off their separate ways in the morning. While that sounds like the perfect premise for a raunchy teen comedy, the story quickly finds itself in the horror section, thanks to the untimely arrival of something strange, furry, and very, very hungry. Whether you're playing alone or tagging in some friends to shudder through the story together, The Quarry is guaranteed to send some shivers down your spine. Then again, with 186 different possible endings, at least one of them has to be happy, right? Find out for yourself by taking advantage of this week's half-price offer.
Finishing things off with a bang, a blam, and a healthy sprinkling of kapows, we've got Marvel's Midnight Suns. In this tactical RPG, things have really taken a turn for the worst. Not only is it a nasty lady named Lilith leading her demonic horde to rampage across Earth, but she's teamed up with the folks at Hydra, and, you know, they're always up to no good. Fortunately, they're not the only ones who know how to forge an alliance, and you'll be calling on some of the most ferocious heroes in Marvel history to aid you in battle. So basically, this is a game where you get to be friends with Ghost Rider, and who doesn't want that? Anyway, if that doesn't sell you on it, then I guess nothing will, except maybe the fact that it's 40% off in this week's sale. So, whether you're saving the world or just getting some gardening done, this week's sale includes plenty of noble causes. Hit the comments to let us know which ones you'll be taking on, and don't forget to like and subscribe before you go. Bye.